Only a Dream, parts 1 and 2. You'll note that I've went back to doing the arc in its entirety than each episode for this one, because there's not a lot to say. It's way more style than substance. It's blowing its animation wad and really showcasing what they can do there. But any stop to really think about this one, and you have plot holes to drive a frickin' Mack truck through. Especially part 1. Part 2 has a little bit more bendability. It's more in the dreamscape, and they're not really trying to set things up. And they have one of the cute little note is that they have this jingle that Batman has in his head to drown Dr. Destiny, John D. out. And I think I didn't really pay attention to the lyrics. They throw in some goofy, jingle thing, but the tune is, well, one of the tunes to that song is, to that melody is, Are You Sleeping, Brother John? So that's a cute touch. That's something that you would have to pay attention to get. But overall, I mean, this is really, they want this to feel kind of like a comic book. They really are going for the big angles, the dramatic poses. There's a lot of pan shots like you would see, scanning a page. I mean, artistically, in style of the animation and what they're doing, it's very visually interesting. But there's not a lot there in terms of substance. I mean, most of the payoff is in the second part, where they try to have the character building and their fears, and the Flash for once isn't a total idiot. I did enjoy him how he figured out his problem to break through. And I did enjoy Batman having to test himself, and even hitting up a freaking coffee shop because he's down and out. Even though he's sitting there starting to nod off, but even that, it's like, why is he rolling around the bat? He should have the bat jet or something. I mean, is he in the tri-state area? There are faster modes of transportation plus autopilot, so he can occupy his mind. The Batmobile seems rather inefficient in this court. I mean, it makes for great plot because he has the road. Fall asleep. I mean, almost everyone understands falling asleep at the wheel is terrible, and the horrors that happens when, and the tragedies that happen when people do that. But once again, it's from a logic point. It doesn't seem the best way to go. Well, I mean, what is there to say about this one? I mean, I could start just picking everything apart that's wrong or dumb, but it's not really setting that up as to be intelligent. It's just kind of like, part 1 is pretty much just an action fest, and a pretty action fest. Nothing of substance. I mean, there's a few notes of cleverness, but mostly it's just big action, big set piece. A little nugget of cleverness or of something really cool, and then but you don't really get a feel for the character. I mean, this story rides on you having an investment in these characters and knowing them well enough. It's interesting. I mean, it's good to see the voice of Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen reprising their roles from Superman the Animated Series, and it is kind of interesting to see the different uh, nightmare versions, Superman's, and I mean, I guess I really like them all. Hawk Girl seems kind of the weakest. Just like, I can't fly, and now I'm buried alive. I mean, you kind of wish they would have came up with something more deep. And if they're attacking all the Justice League, why isn't the other? Why isn't Wonder Woman in this one? Maybe they needed something. I know they want to have a rotating cast, but if you're going to attack the Justice League, you should attack all of them in this case. And I think you could have done a very interesting nightmare scenario with Wonder Woman. I mean, she's been through so much. You could have her like come back to Themyscira and it be all jacked up like it was in Paradise Lost, but on a permanent. The world invading Themyscira, and she in all her the world of man turning in on Themyscira and destroying it. There's all kinds of things they could have done, but no, I don't. Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. The whole prison setup, the way that, so dumb. I mean, it's a very cartoon prison. It's Supermax, which why you're wondering some dipwad who pretty much was just on guard duty for illegal stuff, why he's in a Supermax prison. You'd think he'd be. I mean, I guess maybe I'm thinking about it harder because I just finished watching the Netflix series Orange is the New Black, where they have your medium and lighter security prisons. He seems like he should be in those. He seems more like a docile, and his problems, he is kind of this John D character is meek, he doesn't have a lot of power, and he undermines things and he works things to get more power because he feels so helpless. He's kind of been a loser. And not even a dangerous one, kind of I don't understand why this character is in a Supermax prison, for one. I don't understand how the Supermax prison is ran so poorly as to just fall apart as it does. I mean, they have the riot and the escape, but I mean, I understand in superhero comics and stories, you have to have, if you're not going to kill the characters, they're going to escape eventually so you can reuse them. But this prison break seems just very kind of sloppy. They're reusing the assets for the guards that they used for the police in Metropolis. And, I mean, and they don't lock up the test facility? He has to be told to lock the door? The scientist guy? What a friggin' moron! Second of all, if you do ESP and all those other experiments, and they argue that, oh, well, where else are you going to find people who are willing to... You know how many Looney Tune and I'm going to use Looney Tune because it is a Warner Brothers cartoon. Looney Tune wackadoodle people would kill for psychic powers. If you wanted to pump them full of some crazy weird crap or subject them to some ray, you'd have loads of people. You don't need to do this in a prison. That's bull. The only reason to do it in a prison is maybe you could keep it under wraps or kind of have it not so well known. But this seems to be mostly an above board process that they're doing. So I don't know why prisoners. I mean, giving prisoners, especially prisoners in a Supermax prison, violent criminals, psychic powers. Gee, how could this go wrong? Seems like the dumbest idea ever. Like I said, it's very brilliant in its animation, and it's really playing with scope and size and scale and angle, and there's so much to look at. But it's not as clever as it wants to be. and it's not anything that I would go back to. The first two arcs are something I would watch again, and they're full of what I feel the little character moments that really, like the hug or the Superman and the Clark and Bruce exchange at the end of Twilight. This one is a lot of sizzle, a lot of boom, and a lot of pop, and it wants to be bigger and more resonant than it can handle, than it deserves. Kind of hit a wall. I mean, it's fun, but there's nothing to talk about. It's visually fun. It's satisfying enough, but meh. There's nothing to hold my interest beyond watching it this first time. Alright, bye.